Loneliness after 50 isn't just an emotional problem. Researchers have found it carries a health risk comparable to smoking roughly 15 cigarettes a day. That's not an exaggeration for effect. It's a real finding from public health research on social isolation, and it's one of the most underdiscussed risk factors in men's health specifically. Here's why men in particular are affected. Social circles tend to shrink steadily after 50. Kids move out, close friends move away or pass away. And for a lot of men, work was quietly doing double duty as their main source of regular social contact. When that ends, whether through retirement or simply drifting apart from colleagues, the social structure that used to happen automatically has to be rebuilt on purpose. And a lot of men were never taught how to do that. Women, on average, tend to maintain closer friendships throughout life and lean on them more openly. Men are more likely to isolate quietly, treat it as normal, and not mention it to anyone, including a doctor. The physical effects go well beyond a temporary bad mood. Chronic loneliness has been linked in research to elevated blood pressure, weakened immune response, disrupted sleep, and higher rates of depression. It also affects behavior indirectly. Men who are isolated are statistically less likely to see a doctor regularly, less likely to catch early symptoms of the exact issues we talk about on this channel, and more likely to let a concerning symptom slide because there's no one around asking, "Hey, are you okay? Have you gotten that checked out?" That accountability piece matters more than people give it credit for. So, how do you actually tell if this applies to you rather than just assuming it doesn't? It's not really about how many hours you spend alone. Some men are perfectly content with a lot of solitude. It's about whether you have at least one or two people you could call today if something actually went wrong, and whether you've had a real, substantive conversation, not just small talk, in the past week or two. If the honest answer to either of those is no, that's worth paying attention to, the same way you'd pay attention to a physical symptom that's been quietly building. The good news is this is genuinely one of the more fixable health risks on this list, and it doesn't require a dramatic life overhaul. Small structural changes tend to work better than vague resolutions like be more social. A standing weekly commitment, a regular walk, a recurring game night, a class, volunteering on a set schedule, works better than open-ended plans because it removes the need to decide and initiate every single time, which is often the actual barrier. Reconnecting with one old friend, even after years of silence, tends to go better than most men expect. The awkwardness people anticipate rarely matches reality. And if you're recently retired, deliberately rebuilding a routine that includes other people isn't optional self-care. It's closer to a genuine health intervention, given what the research shows about isolation's physical impact. It's also worth saying plainly, if what you're feeling has gone beyond loneliness into persistent low mood, loss of interest in things you used to enjoy, or real hopelessness, that's a different situation that deserves a conversation with a doctor or a mental health professional, not just a busier social calendar. This channel usually covers the physical side of men's health, the prostate, testosterone, sleep, but this piece genuinely belongs in the same conversation because the research is clear that social connection isn't separate from physical health after 50. It's one of the actual inputs to it. Subscribe if that's a side of this topic you don't see covered enough, because it deserves more airtime than it usually gets. Checking in on your health doesn't stop at your last physical. Checking in on your people matters just as much, and it's one of the few things on this list you can actually start today with a single phone call.